What's going on, everyone? Vampyr Gaming here, and I'm fresh back from the Azuki event in LA, the first ever invitational. Huge shout out to the team for inviting me and having me out. We're gonna kick things off here as we get ready for the release of OP14 with another Market Watch, and tomorrow morning I will be recording a Mihawk Masterclass with someone, a special guest. You guys might know him as a green goat, special guest. So excited for that. I'm gonna have to wake up early, so be sure to hit that subscribe button. Do me a favor, I'm waking up at 6 a.m. for y'all and then going to work right after. You just do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. And also, if you're going to shop any of these TCGPlayer singles, click that link in the YouTube video description or down there in the comments. You just click it if you're going to purchase anything. If you're going to purchase anything coming up on the release day, just clicking that does so much for me. I don't think you all understand, and if you could just do that, it helps me out a lot. So let's kind of talk about it. So we're going to start off OP14, then we're going to talk about a couple other cards, but I really just, because a lot of people I've been hearing on the Clock app apparently talk about pre-release prices. Pre-release prices are always usually pretty high, and they drop relatively quickly. We usually see the cheapest prices when it comes to Wave 2. The biggest thing is everybody who's going to Bandai Card Fest Finals in Las Vegas does not have time to wait for Wave 2 for the most part. We're going to be picking up all of our cards and starting all of our testing. So, of course, these are all the alternate arts. Just kind of like, you know, You'll Frighten Me. I think this is going to be like a $200-$300 card. I'm leaning more towards the 2 than the 3. And then I think by the time the second wave, it'll be like a $230. Looking like Time at $230. And we've got Boa. Boa will probably be like $150. I could also, again, these are all just my thoughts, not financial advice, not FINRA registered, all that jazz. This card will be $1. It'll also be useless. Yeah. But that aside, we kind of take a look here, looking more for the playables. Goldon. Yeah, I mean, this should be like a $20 leader. This should also end up being pretty cheap. Like, all these should be cheap-ish. These are going to be... This should be dirt, but we'll see. Foxy kind of cooking. This is also kind of crazy. I pulled one, and if anyone wants to pay near this price, I mean, this is just... Even Gecko, like, you take a look back to Big Gecko Moria, and Big Gecko Moria was a $20 card at, like, 25 at peak, and it was Gecko Moria. This is $30. I would not buy this at 30. Boa isn't even that strong without the new Nami. This will also drop a lot. Mihawk will be more expensive than Croc, but Croc, I don't expect Croc to be more than $10. I could be wrong, but I don't anticipate him to be more than that. And you got Nami. Nami will probably just have money because of the name, but it's also really good in like green purple. Perona will probably be like a $6-7. I did the hand thing. A $6-7 super. I think lowest they'll probably be is like $5. Like with the restock. Gecko will probably be like $2-3. Law Rosinante will probably be like $2-3. Like, a lot of these prices just aren't gonna last. This should be a lot more than that. It should be $1 billion. Monkey D. Luffy. It should be $1 billion. This will probably be really cheap. These probably too. A lot of cards that I'm looking and eyeing at. I think they're really good. So we'll see, but a lot of these, yeah, I mean, don't pay any attention to these. There will be a lot of price action on Friday for those who are new to the TCG. Typically on Friday, we have a bunch of sales. Like, a lot of them will start off relatively cheap and just get bought up until pretty much the second week. And so it's really hard to tell sometimes, but like the rares, it's very rare for a rare to be more than $1. And most of your LGSs, your local game stores, are going to sell these for 50 cents. on release. Like, I gotta go pick up my Kaidos and my Kings so I can build Kaido. After Bandai Card Fest Finals, I'm probably gonna mess around with Kaido, assuming I don't have to grind to beat and win one of the Serial Luffy's right away. So we'll see. But yeah, and then everything else would be pretty cheap. But those are my thoughts there. Let me know, what are you all looking to pick up in OP14? And now kind of jumping along here, we're going to start off here looking at some older cards that have kind of gone up in value once again. And if we remember, there's something else I would like to look at too. But, so we've got Yamato from OP01 at $12. This card was reprinted. I do not know if there's any differentiation for the reprint. Okay, there is. Added security stamp. Okay. Ah, on this. Got it. That's right. That is correct. It added that security stamp. Because secret rares now have those. So that's the difference between this Yamato and the reprint. So do not get those confused. If you get one with a security stamp when you bought it for $12, you've been scammed, had, bamboozled. We don't like that. And so Yamato is one of those cards you might have pulled way back when it was $4 or $5 or $6, $7, and now it could be a great time to sell. You could also just hold it. OP01, I have my thoughts. If you want to see my thoughts on OP01 as a whole in the comments, let me know. And then here's Shanks, which kind of, I was trying to sell mine for $100, and here we are. Not too many sales in this price area, but we do see, of course, a 106 and a 135 here for the alternate art. That's funny because I actually was down on these for a very long time, and for the first time in forever, I have not lost money on these. I bought these when the card game first came out, and I want to say I paid like $70 a pop for them, and my buddy, you know who you are, you're listening, told me I needed a playset, and he was like, oh yeah, you only need 2 of these. I was like, how many of these do I need? So I bought a playset. But look at it. He was actually looking out for me 3 years from then. He was looking out for me 3 years from then because we're up. So I own 4. I actually now own 5 of these. I just picked up an additional one for like $50 way before this. So, but this is, you know, I mean, this is I'm tempted to unload them all, but at the same time, it is a cool card, so. And then Romance Don Luffy. So this card was reprinted in PRB01. This card is in PRB01. However, I don't think there's any way to distinguish the two. So use that what you will. Not a lot listed, about to be 10. I mean, if they're 10, I'm selling all mine again. They went down, they were back, they were up, they were trying to make it $12, they went all the way back down to $2, and now it's trying to go back up to $10, so I'll keep selling them if y'all keep buying them, so let me know, y'all want them for 10s? You tell me. But that aside, yeah, I mean, I love selling this card for $10, I have a bunch of them, I bought a bunch of them, I've pulled a bunch of them, it's a super rare, you know, use it how you will. Now this was one, I almost think this card's undervalued, but that's in like the sense of just what they've done, what everything has happened to all the other Luffy cards. I think that this card is properly valued. I think in the context of many other Luffys, this card is overlooked. I think it's really cool. I'm also partial because I bought a playset of this forever ago because I thought I was going to play Film Kid. And then I ended up playing Film Uta, for those who remember that deck. And I never played it. And so I have a play set of these. And then recent one, a certain Canadian had tweeted about Fire Fist being the first ever alternate art event. It is, and it was the only one in a core set that didn't end up being what people refer to now, the regular they're alternate arts, but a lot of people like to refer to them as mangas So the manga style artwork was not used for this card. It did use original artwork from an artist versus using the source material for the alt. I almost now wish it had source material book page art, which would be sick. And I'm kind of jealous. But it was about $10. I actually just picked some up to complete the playset. Do I think that this is worth it? That's tough to say. Tough to say, but you know, as a Fire Fist guy myself, I picked up an additional playset. I'm really glad that I did. I think it has a unique place in One Piece history for those who can appreciate it, because it was the only alternate art until we saw the source material alternate arts. These were what the only time we saw an event in a set was this one. And then they brought out the other ones, like Divine Departure, I believe, was the first one that we had seen. Maybe it was Galaxy Impact. Can't remember if Galaxy Impact's 10 or 8. Or Honesty Impact. It's Honesty Impact, but we've got this, the Fire Fist. It's now about $30. If you've had them, maybe it's a time to sell them. Maybe you believe in it. Hold on to them. And then you've got Soga King. So this card's like $15, which kind of surprised me. It is an older secret. And again, I know a lot of people have been wanting to try to hype up secret rares as a card in general. I think mostly because the gold borders resemble other cards with gold borders. Do with it what you will. I think this card is actually really cool personally for like a collector standpoint. Soga King is one of the few, outside of Trafalgar Law and Eustace Captain Kidd, few characters that have actually worked with Luffy that weren't on his crew. So the character has some very unique lore. We also don't know where he is. He showed up for an arc and then never really showed his face again. But rumor has it that Raftel has the location of the Sniper Island, so hopefully Luffy will go and get to pay him a visit before the show and the manga end. I'm very invested in this story, but it is also really cool because episode 1000, they did a very cool thing. It wasn't Soga King, but Usopp had used his slingshot and shot one of his attacks, and it did like a big explosion. It's like a 1000, or it did something to create like a 1000 for the 1000 special, which is really cool. And this really just reminds me of that, and I think it's incredibly awesome. Now, I always try to give you guys something good. I don't know if this is that, but Roundtable is a card. It is OP01. I think if you play Ace, I highly encourage you to pick up a playset, or at least 3. I think it's playable at 3. It is a great answer to Mihawk and the Mirror. Once they take a free blocking around table, swing a 2 into it, and it's like, you know, draw your card. Because it's just so much value. I played this card back in like OP, maybe it was just OP01, but I think even OP02 I'd splashed in round table in a few of my lists. Minus 10,000 is really good. I do wish it had a trigger. If it had a trigger that did the same thing, I'd be a lot happier with this card. But this card does see some play. Noel has been playing it in his ace list as well. And prior to that, I had heard rummagings about this card as a whole. And it's like 25 cents, so you can get them very cheap, definitely. If you bare minimum, ace players, hear me. Great ace players in the sky, hear my cry. Pick up a place at a round table, or check your LGS. And then we have Cavendish. Cavendish, I think, is also, again, just underrated. Just because this card is textbook really good. It doesn't mean it's good now, but I think down the line, because it was in PRB 02, that its block number will get updated and it'll be good for many years. But at bare minimum, it's good till April 2027, is my understanding. So don't sleep on it. Really good card. Any Supernova leader that they make that's green is going to play this. And then let's kind of just talk a little bit about OP13. OP13 has gone up drastically. We'll talk about like 1 or 2 cards in here as well, but OP13 has gone up a drastic amount. People bought up Emu. Emu was down to about 40, and then they bought it back up to 60, almost 70, 60, 70. And then you've got Sabo, Bonnie. Like, the Bonnie's kind of understandable because of the new Luffy, the Egghead Luffy that is coming. Even like Ace Sabo Luffy. So the point of this, maybe I'll just go Ace Sabo Luffy to show. You should also, because it's like Round Table or Ace Sabo Luffy, and you can kind of see that these are picking up in their price, becoming like dollars. So this was... maybe I mentioned it before, if not, but yeah, it's definitely a card you should pick up just because Ace are typically playing it around 2, so it doesn't hurt to have 2. And hopefully we get the decks that come with the alternate art in it, the Navy version, which would be really cool. But yeah, just something to get on your radars. Ace Sabo Luffy is another one of those Ace cards. And then we've got Portgas the Ace. This card has drastically increased. I was hoping to buy a bunch at 10. I got 1, and now it's a lot, and I wanted to place it. I'm a little sad about it, but that's how the cookie crumbles. At the same time, a lot of my cards are worth a lot more, so it's like, you know, you take the wins and you take the losses and you just keep on moving. But I don't agree with this card's price. I get it. Hopefully they print a lot of Carrying On His Will. Be sure, if you haven't already, Bandai every set releases a survey on Cardass. Be sure to complete that because it really helps provide input and insight for them to see what's going on. That's the #1 way to get your voice heard. If you're having trouble getting product, you can't get product at MSRP, things like that. And then of course they gather a bunch of other information as well, but make sure they're getting the key parts too. Then, so Cavendish, you know, it's about $1 rare. This is a card that people are opting to play in OP14 in Red Blue Ace. If you don't have it, might be worth grabbing them. Again, like, you know, some of your locals will just sell rares at 50 cents. You can get 2 for $1, so definitely be sure to check in with them if you're there. And then to kind of wrap things off again on a Red Ace note, we've got Gum Red Rock, which is a 2 to 3 of. A lot of lists have upped it to 3 for the OP14 format, and I personally am a fan. They've continued to kind of just go up here. What was once a relatively affordable single that was reprinted in PRB02 is now, maybe it was PRB01. PRB01. It's reprinted PRB01 is now a $7 rare. Wow. So if you have a bunch of these in your bulk, cash them out, you know, get that bag. I guess fake. I lied. We got Law and Beppo too. Law and Beppo is an interesting card. It is a key card in Mihawk, and right now Asia is speculating that Mihawk is the best deck, and this card is a 4 of. If you are going to play Dracula Mihawk, do not sleep on this card. Pick them up. $5 is a very good price. Grab your playset. And if you found this content of value, click that link in the YouTube comments and do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next video.